Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. Thanks for tuning in to a special edition. Arizona basketball has a new commit, and his name is Mabil Kon Mabil. Very, very good basketball prospect here. Now, is he going to come in? Is he going to play immediately? Probably not. I mean, the young man has only been playing basketball since 2021, so you can probably put two and two together and figure out that he's not going to play. That he's not going to play a ton. But when you watch him, though, he's got a lot going for him. And when I say a lot, he's got a lot going for him. He can run like the wind. He is super, super good and are super, super impressive when it comes to just how he can get up and down the court and shoot the three. That is a big thing too. Like, a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people, you watch him shoot the three, and you can just see that there's a next level that he can probably reach. I think that's something that you got to be pretty excited about watching him as an Arizona fan. Now, he's when he gets up and down the court, and his body is definitely going to take to a strength conditioning. I don't think that there's any doubt about that, because he's got that kind of body that you can just tell that if he gets, and if he gets in the weight room a little bit, if he gets on the that conditioning program, he's going to be pretty darn good, and he's going to be pretty. I think he's going to be pretty. He's going to be pretty. He's going to be, like I said, he's going to be good. Arizona needs a developmental player, though. Arizona needs a couple guys that you look at and you're just kind of like, okay, that's going to be the next level for the University of Arizona, as far as a sophomore, as far as a junior, as far as, just going forward, what he can do. And like I said, I think from an Arizona perspective, you got to be pretty excited about getting this young man into the fold. And watching him, you can tell as well that he knows that, it's going to take him a little bit of time. He gets it. Because again, he's been playing basketball for 4 years, but you can't teach what he has. He's 7 foot. He can run really fast. He can move, and he can shoot. Now, Arizona got another commitment from somebody named Sidi Guya. He is like I said, he's a very talented player, and he's somebody that you look at and you're kind of like, all right, what is he kind of in the same stratosphere? And he's further along than Mabil. So, I think he's going to probably play next year. He's also more on probably on an NBA trajectory at this point. I think that's probably fair to say. But another guy, you watch him, and you can just see how he gets up and down the court, how he can block shots, and physically, he's pretty strong at this point as well. So Arizona is in a pretty good spot there, because you are going to be losing a lot of players moving forward. After this year, and we talked about it on the previous show, you're going to lose Jaden Bradley. You're going to lose Evan Nelson. You're going to lose Braden Burries. You're going to lose, if he does come back, you're going to lose Carter Bryant. There's an excellent chance you lose Koa Pete. You're going to lose Tobe Awaka. You're going to lose ADO. You're going to lose Mo Crevis as well. You could lose Mo Crevis as well. So there's going to be a lot of spots that are going to be open, especially in the front court, because, again, maybe you get back Dwayne Aristod, but you're probably, when it comes to that front court, it's probably just going to be Mo Crevis at this point that you're looking at, and you're saying to yourself that what is that next level? What's that next level then for Arizona? We will see. But again, I love making this move for the Wildcats. He was he's a player that Arizona needed to get. He's somebody that, everybody loves somebody that can shoot the ball. And I think that's a big thing, is that can you get somebody that can shoot the ball, that can shoot threes, and can do, like I said, they can do a lot of different things in the process. That's what I think you're looking for from a U of A perspective. And they did that. And can he continue to get bigger? Can he continue to get stronger? Can he continue to get faster? And I don't see any reason why he can't do any of that. And if everything goes the way of the Buffalo, or goes the way of the Buffalo, if everything goes well, I think you're looking at two guys that are going to be able to play as sophomores and possibly be starters, because I think that they they play well off of each other. How about that? And I think that's a big thing in all of this is how do these players play? And I think that's a big part. That's a big part of all of this is how do they play, and that's kind of where I think that's kind of where we're at this stage. So, like I said, we shall see. But this is a very, very good, very, very good addition for the University of Arizona. And again, it just goes to show you too that Tommy Lloyd knows what he's doing. He's not being pushed around like some people thought. He knows what he's doing from a strategic perspective. But first, game time, my friend, game time. Now, you might say to yourself, when it comes to Arizona, and when it comes to saying, I'd like to go watch a U of A game, Game Time is the place that can help you. There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game as well. I mean, you got them going on right now. You got a couple Game 7s coming on. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Game Time, you can be part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. That's why Game Time is here. That's why they are here to help you. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Yeah, again, there's a lot of reasons to use Game Time, but here's where I use Game Time. Last-minute deals, save up to 60% off buying last-minute for sports. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Again, you got the playoffs here right now. You're going to want to use Game Time. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats. I'm your host, Mike Luke. All right, now talking a little bit into the future then. I think Tommy Lloyd wants to get, especially in the Big 12, you want guys that can get up and down the court, but you also want guys that can be physical as well. And I think that's what Arizona got here. And you want developmental players because here's probably an open secret here that I don't think I'm really breaking any news on. Arizona is going to be recruiting a lot of high school players, a lot of elite-level high school players. A big reason why is they're cheaper than portal guys, and they have higher upside, so it makes a lot of sense. But you're going to want to get the guys that are already developed. You look at it, you're going to want to get a Braden Burry. You get a Braden Burries who's ready to go. You get a Koa Pete. He's ready to go as well. Those are the kind of guys, again, they're not going to be $3 million players. They're going to probably be $1.5 million, but you can also develop them. Carter Bryant was kind of the same way as well. But if those guys are a lot of them are one and dones because that's kind of, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, then you need players that can that are going to be ready to go in the fold. And again, if it's not the portal, you need to be able to have from within. A big part of this though is having players that I think you feel comfortable. They know their role. They know what is expected of them, and that's something that's going to be. I think that's something that's going to be big for the U of A. Is between that and the transfer portal, kind of filling the holes. Is kind of how I would say it when it comes to the transfer portal, and I think that's a big thing for the University of Arizona. But these guys, like I said, they're all good. They can all do different things, and I've always said this too, that if I'm going to recruit a developmental player, I am going to recruit somebody that I can look at and I can say to myself, he could be good 2 or 3 years down the road. Again, I got to give Conrad credit. He was better in games than I thought, but I never looked at Conrad and said that could be a key rotation player for Arizona, and I don't think anybody really did. Again, he played fairly well in games that he went into. I got to give him a lot of credit. But when I'm looking at a developmental player, I'm looking at somebody that can come in and that they can play and that they can and they could be a real contributor at that point. And I think that's what you're looking for from an Arizona perspective. You're looking for that upside, or if you're looking for somebody to play that one out, you're looking for a Bryce James type, where Bryce could be Bryce is talented, but Bryce also doesn't need the money. Bryce could be Bryce can be here 3 or 4 years, develop on his own path, and then get into the NBA if he is good enough. That's a big part. So let's get back to Mabil for a second, though. I think the thing with him that's interesting is his career progression. Now, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he comes in red shirts. I don't think this is an Emmanuel Stevens situation where if he doesn't play, he's just going to bounce, because I think he's well aware of where he is in the grand scheme of things, that, it's going to take him time, and I think that he is totally prepared for that. And again, that's a big part of all of this. That's a big part of the calculation is how, how affirmative are they that, this is going to be, I'm going to stick around and this is going to be the plan. Because again, some of these guys are going to take a little bit of time, but I think when you find players like this, they're a little bit more likely to to stick that one around. And I think that's what's exciting about all of this. Now, as far as what Arizona could still use for the current or for the future roster, what you're still looking at, we're going to talk about that in just a second. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. Locked on, your team every day. Okay, now, what is the Carter Bryant? That's obviously going to be the big thing with Carter Bryant. What is he? Is he 60-40? Is he? I think that he's probably 60-40 at this point. I do think that there's a chance that he comes back. I don't think that I'm really breaking any news there. I do think that there's a chance that he comes back, and if he does come back, then he is like I said, he's a player that changes everything for Arizona. They can compete for a national championship immediately if Carter Bryant comes back, because he gives you the three-point shot, he gives you the shot blocking, he gives you a lot of different things, and he can, like I said, Andy can move up and down the court. That's what's exciting. That's what's exciting for the. That's what's exciting about this. So we will, like I said, you will find out. I am curious. I am curious about this now from the next look. Where then Arizona is when it comes to that team. Because if Carter Bryant comes back, I think they're the best team in the country. I really do. I think that they, you look at it from Braden Burries to Jaden Bradley to Carter Bryant to Tobe Awaka to Krivas to Koa Pete to Dwayne Aristod. You got a lot of guys that are just, that are studs. And they all kind of fit together. You've got shooting, you've got length, you got shot blocking, you got athleticism, and I think you've got a nice little combination of youth and strength. So again, that's a good part to all of this. Now, the other thing too that I look at and I say to myself is, what is that? If Arizona loses Carter Bryant, then that 3 position becomes interesting, because you got Dwayne Aristod, who the coaching staff believes is going to be a monster. We've talked about him a great deal, and you've also got ADO, who obviously is better in that backup role. But I like ADO. I think everybody likes ADO. But there's a time and a place. If he does leave Carter Bryant, I think you're either looking at maybe a Grant Foster from Grand Canyon, or you got 2 international players that I think both will look at it and say that that's some pretty good stuff. So, like I said, it's going to be fascinating to see how this does all unfold, because Arizona's in a good spot. Either way, it's a top 15 preseason team, and if you get Carter Bryant back, I think that it can push for the best team in the country. I think that they're a real national title contender at that point, because you got length, you got athleticism, you got shooting. And the other thing about it, too, is you're about to miss a lot of different players. You're about to lose a lot of different players. So in that 2026 class, it's going to be a monster time. So it's kind of a go for broke year. But you know what? In college basketball, nothing is promised, and that's where it can just get kind of interesting for you. And that's why I think it's going to be exciting to see what the University of Arizona can do from there. But wanted to have a special show today because, again, you got a commitment from a player that I think has a lot of potential, and I think that Arizona fans are going to develop. He's a good kid, and he's going to be fun to watch. But on that note, very, very much appreciate you all making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. Locked On, your team every day. We will be back with you Monday, TTFN, and bear down and go Cats.